and now I want to talk about log replication. So those are the cluster of logs shown on the right side of the screen now. We've got server 1 as a leader, and servers 3, 4, and 5 are currently down so that they're out of the way. So a client came up to server 1 and made 3 requests. Server 1 appends those requests to its log, and it also marks them with its current term number. So that's why they're all marked term 2. So remember, the leader's job during normal operation is to take its log and replicate it to the other servers. So let's watch the leader replicate its log over to server 2. I've allowed it to replicate that first entry. Now let me explain what that little dot and the arrow are. So the arrow is called next index. It is the position in the log where the leader will send the next entry. And that dot is the match index. The dot means that the leader knows that it and the follower agree on all entries up to that point. So as the leader is replicating entries over, you'll see both of these advance. And now we've reached kind of a steady state, but you might notice that these log entries have dashes around them. That's because they're not committed yet. They haven't been acknowledged to clients. They're not yet safe. I said that our goal is that if any majority of the cluster is up, then the system's fully operational. And so what could happen here, server 1 and 2 could go down, but servers 3, 4, and 5 could come up, and these log entries would be entirely lost. And so we need to actually replicate a little more widely before these can be marked committed. Okay, so I've brought up server 3, and I allowed the leader to replicate one entry over to server 3. And at this point, the leader's marked its first entry committed. So the rule is the leader can mark an entry that is created committed once that entry reaches the majority of the cluster. And once the leader marks it committed, it can acknowledge that and send the response back to the client. So at this point, that entry is guaranteed to never ever change. Server 1 knows it's committed, the other servers don't, and so this commitment information is actually sent out from the leader on its next messages. So if I let this advance forward, we'll reach a steady state where all of the entries are committed. And note that a minority of the cluster has been out of order this whole time. So that's kind of normal case log replication.